Ray Dalio's stark warning rings loud. USA collapse will be far worse than you think. With a reputation as a visionary in finance, Dalio's ominous prediction raises eyebrows. He points to cracks in the system, hinting at a potential unraveling of the American economic fabric. As we brace for his insights, his caution serves as a rallying cry to assess, adapt, and prepare for what could lie ahead. Dalio's foresight compels us to scrutinize the trajectory of our nation's future, urging us to take heed and take action before it's too late. Ray Dalio's last warning. Ray Dalio saw the 2008 financial mess coming, and he even sniffed out the long-lasting money troubles caused by the COVID chaos. Now, he's ringing the alarm bells again. The 72-year-old money wizard who turned Bridgewater Associates into the hedge fund is saying we're in for another economic smackdown. He's not just saying it for kicks. He wants us to be ready for whatever's headed our way. Dalio's giving us the scoop that the American economy is skating on thin ice. He's calling it a risky situation, and if there's one thing you should do, it's pay attention. He's got a track record of seeing these money storms before they hit, so it would be a good idea to take his advice and get ready for some choppy economic waters. The world order started in 1945 after a war, setting the stage for how things should work. Fast forward to 1949, and the Chinese Civil War added a new chapter to the global narrative. Wars kickstart change, marking the start of a struggle for shaping and running the system. In the midst of this, the U.S. emerged as a new power player and snagged the title of World Reserve Currency holder, backed by military might, nuclear weapons, and heaps of gold post-World War II. This American-led world order ushered in peace, prosperity, and a set of fresh rules. This period also fueled a wealth gap. Some people got richer, while others missed out. Before we dive deeper, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more incredible life-changing content. And here we are again, a deja vu moment. History's replaying itself with three significant factors making a comeback after laying dormant since the 1930 to 1945 era. First up, we've got loads of debt, piling up faster than a kid's toy tower. Central banks are busy printing money and gobbling up debt like there's no tomorrow. It's a classic recipe for trouble. Too much debt leads to debt bubbles that go pop, causing economies to shrink, which in turn forces central banks to unleash the money-printing beast. These telltale signs, the debt overload and the printing spree, have been harbingers of big financial crises in the past. Just like back then, we're on the brink of another shakeup in the world's financial order. Secondly, there are massive gaps in wealth, income, and even values. Populism is back in style, reminiscent of the 1930 to 1945 era. These gaping differences in society's political and social spheres have triggered big conflicts within countries, sparking major changes in how things operate within borders. When the economic weather gets stormy, it's like throwing fuel on the fire. Bad times make these conflicts even worse. Thirdly, a showdown of epic proportions is brewing between international giants, particularly the US and China. This dance of great powers is strikingly similar to what went down between 1930 and 1945. Whenever emerging superpowers challenge the established ones during times of internal turmoil and economic crises, big global conflicts tend to ignite, leading to massive shifts in the global order. Now, back to the present. Legendary investor Ray Dalio has got his eye on America's economic woes, which he believes are heading downhill. He mentions a short-term debt cycle, which has averaged around 7 years historically, that the U.S. Treasury might need to sell a ton of debt, and there might not be enough buyers. This could jack up interest rates or lead to the Fed printing more money, causing money to lose value. Dalio warns that over the next year and a half, things might get a whole lot worse on the financial front. Ray Dalio is concerned that there might not be enough takers for a bunch of government debt flooding the market. The U.S. Treasury plans to issue over $1 trillion in T-bills by the end of 2023. This is all part of their scheme to stash away more cash after some last-minute deal to raise the debt ceiling. Dalio paints a vivid picture. We're diving headfirst into a classic case of late-stage, huge-cycle debt crisis. We have to sell all this debt, but the question is, will anyone take all this debt off our hands? Things have changed. Big investors around the world are holding fewer of these treasury bonds because they've lost money, and there are geopolitical shenanigans at play. We're teetering on the edge, about to find out whether there's an army of buyers waiting to snatch up these treasury bonds. We'll get a clearer picture of the supply and demand situation over the next year or two. But here's the kicker. There's a pile of debt, and it needs buyers. But those buyers need a sweet enough interest rate to bite. U.S. political concerns. Look around the world, especially in the good old U.S. of America. There's a rising wave of people going all-out extremist on both sides, around 20 to 25% on the right and 10 to 15% on the left, while the sensible middle ground is shrinking. Even though the moderates still hold the majority card, their numbers are dwindling. And here's the twist. These middle-of-the-road people aren't exactly ready to throw down in a brawl to win at any cost. For the political system and the economy to play nice, we need a robust middle ground. We're seeing extremism and division brewing in both the Republican and Democratic parties, but neither extreme can claim dominance. So what do we get? A fragmented picture. People are moving to different corners of the map, driven by their differences in values. It's like a puzzle coming apart at the seams. The big question for the next couple of years is whether we can keep that sturdy middle ground intact, or are we headed for a full-blown fracture? The economy's not exactly going to be partying. Interest rates are stuck at a certain level for a while, which means the economy's going to be feeling a little strained. We're not talking about a massive crash, but more of a balance sheet kind of recession. Combine that with the internal squabbles, and we've got ourselves a dicey situation. Deutsche Bank said America's sailing right into a policy-led recession. Even billionaire investor Stan Druckenmiller declared that the U.S. was tiptoeing on the edge of a recession, and he even tossed in a prediction for a hard landing. So, while some folks might be whistling a happy tune, there's a chorus of caution in the air. China-American War. The shadow of a potential conflict with China looms large on the horizon. The tensions between the U.S. and China are heating up, and it's not just a small fire. Domestic political pressures seem to be pushing for a more aggressive stance against China. Ray Dalio, in his latest book, warns that attempts to Americanize China's culture might spark a conflict, putting both nations on a dangerous path. This situation could throw gasoline on the trade war that began in 2018, thanks to the Trump administration. The consequences have been pretty harsh. American companies slashed wages, squeezed profits, and jacked up prices for consumers. Studies estimate that the trade war sucked away over 300,000 American jobs in its first year alone, and the financial toll reached a staggering $1.7 trillion in lost market capitalization. If you find this video informative, like and subscribe to this channel for more educational content. Let's continue. Dalio compared China's human rights policies to a strict parent, sparking controversy. The U.S. and China are treading on thin ice, dangerously close to some kind of confrontation. Whether it's an all-out economic clash or, heaven forbid, a military showdown, the risks are high. The upcoming elections in Taiwan, a U.S.-China hotspot, could be a flashpoint, especially with the push for Taiwanese independence backed by the U.S. Both sides are getting ready for a battle. It's like they're flexing their muscles over Taiwan, chips, Russia, and more. We're not saying war is inevitable, but the odds of a major conflict are certainly looking uncomfortably high. Dalios Wisdom, Navigating the Storm. Ray Dalio dishes out some savvy advice for weathering uncertain times. His first nugget of wisdom is to size up your financial risks. Regardless of what's brewing on the horizon, Dalio has a simple rule. If you worry, don't leave your worries unattended. If you don't worry, well, it's time to start worrying. Worries, he believes, prompt a closer look at personal risks and the push to take action. Take location as an example. Where you live and work matters. His book boasts a health index, rating countries on 18 factors, a tool to assess risks and make savvy living and investment choices. Dalio aims to launch a real-time data website, lending an edge in decision-making. Flexibility, he emphasizes, is gold. Now, for the second gem. Secure and diversify your portfolio. First, assess your current investment strategy to gauge how long you could stay afloat without a job. Prepare for the worst-case scenario. And no, stashing everything in cash won't cut it. As inflation spikes, Dalio suggests building a diverse portfolio. He suggests inflation index bonds, giving them a nod over regular bonds, and real assets like gold. Believe it or not, digital assets like cryptocurrencies can cut too. Dalio, once a crypto critic, admitted owning some Bitcoin for diversity's sake. His message? Don't put all your eggs in one basket, whether it's Bitcoin or gold. Play the field and stay resilient. And there you have it, a sobering glimpse into the future from one of the sharpest minds in finance. Ray Dalio's cautionary words remind us that beneath the surface of stability, complex forces are at play. As we navigate the twists and turns of our ever-changing world, it's clear that the challenges ahead are substantial. Whether you're an investor, a saver, or simply someone seeking to secure your financial well-being, Dalio's insights offer a roadmap to weathering the storm. The future is uncertain, but armed with knowledge, preparation, and a touch of flexibility, we can strive to steer our paths toward a more secure and prosperous horizon. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.